Just want to go over my gold trades for the night. Let's get into it. So this is how we opened. First algo I had identified was this bullish precision. I already had these blue ones, which turned out to be really important, but if you've been watching me, I've had this blue algo for some days now, maybe more than that. And this is, when you see this blue in control, this is where it sells from, and you'll see it later in the day. But we can start off talking about the other ones. And then so I identified this green selling precision fairly early. 20-day was, can't remember, maybe around here somewhere. So that kind of brings me to my first trade, which was longs at this support right here. I know this is the precision, and you got to really be careful taking longs within the precision, but I just knew the 20-day was there, and just knowing how hard of a sell-off we had, I figured there had to be some liquidity build before we kind of got that. So, and just seeing how it acted as support right here, so that's when I took it right there. Positive trade. Second trade was after I identified this teal, and I had this blue as support. So this, I had a couple confirmations here with the 20-day, so that's why I took this. I had the teal, 20-day, can't remember where it was. It was around here. I'm using TradingView because to identify where the 20-day is, so I got to keep looking back and forth, but it was around here. And once it got out of that teal, I'm looking to go long. These are scalps, by the way, so I don't stay in these trades for very long at all. Hopefully I can start to scale up soon, but it kind of messes with my mental, man. So I don't know, right now I know I got the skills, and when I'm scaled down, I'm just not scared to enter trades. I got clear stops, so yeah, when I'm scared down, I just get into trades way easier. All right, and then my third trade came from this orange that I identified. As a bullish algo, but you could consider it bearish control as well. So when it went up here, I wanted to see if we started to climb above it, right? Because it could have easily went up, came down, retested it, climbed on top of it, right? But the moment I seen that it didn't and came back below it with the precision, I took my short. Sold off fairly quickly. Good one. See, this is the type of trade that if I had taken maybe 2 contracts, by the way, I'm trading one micro contract, so just goes to show that you can get so much profits even just scaled down all the way, and if you're trading with structure and managing your risk properly. So, but this trade would have been great if I had maybe 2 or 3 contracts and I sold one here or 2 and left a runner with, even if I had a break-even stop or just slightly above it, maybe at this orange or something, this would have been an amazing trade. But yeah, so here, you could have the head and shoulder play out, right? Let's call it orange for now. You got the head and shoulder, right? And you really got to watch this. At this point, I identified the magenta right here. And that's when I started watching. Like, if this started to break down below the 20-day, then, I'm looking at shorts possibly. But moment it started to go up, I missed this trade. I love these trades, but it just went so fast, and I wanted some sort of a retest on this teal. But if I had identified that the teal was right here building, already beforehand. Right here. Sorry, let me fix these up for you so you can see it a little bit more clear. But if I had identified the teal was already there, right? You had the dual teal, then I could have taken this trade right at the break. The reason I didn't take it is because I had this right here. I had my orange bullish precision algo identified, but it broke it here, and that made me hesitate. But you know, as we've seen multiple times, when the algo activates, it can just activate in multiple spots, right? It can go up in it, come down a little bit, activate again, right? So I mean, at this point, maybe I could have taken it here. I didn't have the risk appetite for it. So I let it go without me all the way up here. Once I got over this magenta right here, I started thinking, hey, maybe I could catch a long scalp. So I knew there's a possibility of it dumping, but it closed the cup, right? So right at this point in time, this point in time, I'm thinking longs, because I'm seeing the cup close, right? So that cup closed, climbing above the magenta, and the bulls were building liquidity through this precision. And that can happen sometimes where you have, you know, a really bearish algo like this, but the bulls can still be using it, as you see here, right? You see large green candles that break out of it. So that's exactly why I took this trade. Once I seen the support here still above magenta, and I started to see this green candle breaking out, I took the long. And then my fourth trade was looking for this handle right here, right? So this, when I identified this cup close, I'm looking for the handle with this IHS, with this liquidity here. Okay, let's call it teal liquidity still. So I'm looking for that. And so I took that long here, right when it started to break back into this orange that I had identified from down here. Once it started to break back into it, I took it. Green trade. Obviously, after that, I seen that bulls weren't fully in control and maybe needed more liquidity if we were to see the cup and handle play out. So that point I had to wait. Once we started going down, I took another scalp here at support. Another positive trade right here. Again, these you got to be very quick, and if I see it break down below, I'm cutting it right away. Right? What I seen was I had magenta and I had teal here as support. So I knew it wasn't going to be such an easy break for the bears, but it can be, you know, because you have all this liquidity, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so I took that trade, obviously cut it very quickly because you don't know. Still looking for that IHS to play out. Then I had to wait. At that point, I realized that once I seen this break, once I seen this happen right here, this teal broke down, this magenta, you can see it building liquidity, let's call. This is magenta liquidity right here, right? Bearish liquidity. And so you can see that the moment that it broke down below teal, I'm thinking that the bears are in control now through magenta, right? Especially because of this, how this broke down, right? And I'm thinking that with the 20-day being around right here, I think it was right here, somewhere like right here. with it being there, with all this liquidity, that's an A plus setup right there. So the moment it came down here, I charted my magenta again, and bang, I took the trade right there, looking at that magenta break. And targeting the 20-day naturally. Closed that trade right there. That's when I called it a day. I should have, you can't be thinking shoulda, coulda, woulda, but had I not caught that trade, maybe I could have charted magenta again and caught it at the break of the 20-day, which was the better trade. But I mean, like I said, I'm scalping with one contract, so that's more than enough for me. That's a great trade for me. And yeah, but as you can see, this blue was huge, right? Because that's exactly where we sold off from. Beautiful head and shoulder pattern, just unbelievable how it played out. I went 7 of 7 today. Just a great day. Yeah, man, really nice to just be able to identify the algos and trade a structured demands and make really great profits from it. As you can see, I locked myself out for the night. I just don't want to give anything back. I had a really great day, and market kind of got a little choppy now as it already made a huge move. So we might just stay around the 20-day moving average now. There's a nice IHS here with the break of this teal. I was waiting for that. I thought it might go here, but as you can see, all these wicks, and that kind of just put me off, and that's when I didn't take the trade, and then I locked myself out just to prevent myself from making any dumb mistakes. But yeah, anyways, great night. Hope you guys had a great night too. We'll see you guys soon, man.